Hi everybody, it's Phyllis. It's been a while since I've last done this. A little bit nervous because I've not really done this in a little bit over 2 years. So anyway, I'm back with my podcast on Discover Faith, Discover Music, Discover Life with Fifi. And in this discovery, I think for today's episode, it's just a catch-up session, really, where I've been, what I've been up to, because it's been 2 years. The last time I've done this, I was in Divine UK. Now I've been in Africa for 2 years. Wow. Time flies, actually. It doesn't feel like that. So basically, when I left the UK, I was in Uganda for 3 months. Then since then, I've been in Rwanda, but I've been home quite a few times. I visited my family, so it's been nice. This has been a journey and a half. It's just a lot of discovering, self-discovering. It's been a season where I thought I've known myself. I thought I've known my faith, what I believe, what I'm called for. But the Lord just rewrite my history all over again. And He just started this brand new page, this brand new journey. And I've not been the same since, I've started this journey. It's such an exciting journey I've been walking on, even though there was a lot of learning, a lot of growing, a lot of perseverance, a lot of challenges along the way. Here in Rwanda, we're not in Kigali, so I had to learn the language. I had to learn a culture, a complete different culture. Even though I'm African, this has been a complete different, culture. And how I've just learned, okay, dogs are howling outside. Can't change that, can't do anything about it. But anyway, with all of these things, so this is a new discovery that I had to go through. I had to adapt to. It has been a lot of adapting to do. and one of the most beautiful things that I've learned in this season in time, I think the Lord just told me to rediscover myself through the sight of Our Lady, our Mother, how to live. I've learned to devote my life to Our Lady in my daily life, how to live like how she lived, how to carry out myself as an ambassador of Christ, how to persevere, how to fight in this journey, how to be a faithful servant of Christ. And I had to learn this through, Our Lady, because here in Rwanda, there's such a big devotion to Our Lady, because, of course, Our Lady visited this nation. So in this journey of discovering in this past few years, there's a line that I've learned from this writer, this poet. His name is John Milton. He wrote this book called Paradise Lost. I don't know if you know it, but that's quite an old burn as well. So I'm quite I like books. I like reading hardcovers. I like my pen and paper, my pen and my different shade of colors of pen in the book. But these days I'm learning to use a pencil, because you realize the things that I've wrote years ago in some of these books, I'm regretting that I've done it. So I'm trying to transit to a pencil and the rubber. Yeah. So, this poet, John Milton, in his book, Paradise Lost, he actually wrote about his journey. And he's such a devoted religious man, and he talks about one of his greatest trials in his life was the loss of his sight around when he was in the middle age, and he dedicated his life to the service of God in his state of blindness, patiently waiting for God's will and God's call. He wrote a beautiful line in this book called "They also serve who stand and wait." Actually, I wrote this. I wrote it in big bold letters, and I put it inside my Bible. I know my Bible has too many things in there. It's got these little poly pockets in them. These small pockets is full of things. But that is first thing that I open in the morning. I sleep next to my Bible and my cross on my bed, and when I wake up in the morning, I just pull out this paper and I read it to myself. They also serve who stand and wait. And this is a journey that the Lord has put me through lately, and just what kind of a service, I've been asking myself in this discovery, just what kind of a service does God wants us, wants from me, really. God's inspiration may have already led, some of us to the path that He wants us to follow, and I truly believe God has led me to the path that He wants me to follow lately. And if you look at the person's side of St. Paul, his call was very dramatic, striking Paul off his horse and calling him out in a voice from the sky. Imagine if that happens in today's world, how much you freak out from that. But sometimes, circumstances in life, discloses His will to us. God will always find a way to disclose His will to us. Like personally, in my personal journey, like how I even went from UK to Uganda to here. I was supposed to go back home after my visa expired in 3 months. To be frank, even to be in Uganda, never thought, I dreamt about going to maybe Kenya, going to South Africa, Nigeria. I don't know. These are the basic countries in Africa that I always thought maybe one day I'll visit Tanzania. Actually, I did plan to visit Tanzania before COVID happened, and with my sister for her 30th. But anyway, life happened. So yeah, but I never thought of, there's something called Uganda, there's something called Rwanda, and one day you're going to be there. This was never part of my vision. And God, how He does things sometimes, it amazes me. It amazes me. So, sometimes, circumstances, things happen in our life. God discloses His will to us like He did. It could be something very tragic, like a death in a family of a loved one. Poverty can really disclose what is the will of the Father in our lives. Really, even, there's so many realization of needs of others that, God will disclose to us. And, many others, however, seem to go through, life without God's attention. Some people can go through it without that. That's okay. And this may have been the case, with Mary. I've been looking up so much to Mother Mary. This may be the case with her as well. A simple young girl from a mountain village in the early years, Mary had not, she had no idea, no faintest idea of what would be demanded of her, but she performed her daily task, exercised the service in continuing faith in the Lord, conforming her life to His divine will. Can we do that? I've asked myself this over and over. Every time I pray my prayers to Our Lady, I always ask, can I truly do this? This divine will of my Father. Can I truly do it? Will you teach me how to do it? Will you do it with me? Like Mother Mary, until, one day there was an angel, then we know the whole Magnificat, how she met an angel, this life story of Mother Mary. Nothing dramatic really. For many of us, however, there will be no angel knocking at our doors. We are not going to get stricken off our horse or jeep. I don't know, whatever you drive. You won't be stricken off it and be summoned directly by God, or see a burning bush. In the history of humankind, there have been very few individuals who were so favored. Most of us who lead in humdrum daily lives, and the voice of God will come in silence for our daily living. But His presence is all around us. it's truly all around us. A beautiful sunset. I've been enjoying. One thing I've been enjoying being here in Rwanda is the weather. Oh, throughout the year, I know it rains. When it rains here, it's heavy, but the beauty about Rwanda and the weather is just you have fresh fruits, all of these things. My family, they're very jealous of that, by the way. But we have all this, so there's so many things that that takes place in our lives, and we see it throughout through our lives, and we see his presence in this beautiful weather. Like I said, we have a beautiful weather here, all the beautiful voices of the children. I've been so involved with the children, the local children around here. I talk to everybody, from an adult to a baby who can't even say a word. But through these children, I see them, when they play, and when you look at the flowers. How do you think, God, how do you do this? All these little things that I wake up in the morning and see in our place. We're doing construction at the moment. Every time something new changes, I'm like, wow, Lord, you did this. It's such a journey. Or when I accomplish something and I know with my own capacity, this is nearly impossible. There's so many things that I've seen, and I've seen his presence all around me lately. And you see a lot of things. A man just been released from prison who comes out of the door and asks for a little food. I've seen these things. A neighbor is constantly annoying. Sometimes, when we first moved in here, when we first came to Rwanda, I remember there was a time when someone just came and scratched father's car, and they had no reason to do it. They just do it because they don't like you, And when we first started ministry here, it was quite challenging, so we had faced that. And then there was this language barrier of someone who hates us, and that makes that hatred known by vicious gossip and slanderous stories. Look, I have gone through my fair share of gossips and slanderous stories. When I first came here in Rwanda, I had to hear a lot of stories on myself about how I left my ministries, how I end up somewhere else, and I had to laugh about it because I was like, Lord, I played no part in this. I played no part in where I should be. What is the next move in my life? You planned it for me, and I'm still trying to make peace with it. And here you are, there's more things adding about how you did this, how you do that, and then this story is coming in my head. And this is why I loved this journey of just devoting myself to Our Lady, journeying like how she did. And I always ask her, this is one of the regular things that I ask her every time I'm angry about something. I ask her, how did you do it? Was, look, you've gone through all the mockery, you've been mocked, you've been slandered, you've become a hot topic, in people's lives. You've been, everything that could be said about a woman has been spoken about you. And here you are, the mother of mankind. You hold such a highest position. Above all, you have the highest position, and God saw you worthy of it, and He saw you deserving. But how did you carry yourself through all that? I ask. This is why I like, every month we have English retreat, and we go to Chibel for a pilgrimage on the last day of retreat. And every time I go there, I go in the apparition chapel or at the apparition site. I always ask Mother Mary the same. Look, I ask her so many weird questions, and I think she's used to me by now, asking her all these things, about how do you do it? Like, I'm so angry at this moment. This happened. I tell her, and I'm sure she just looks at me and laughs. She's such a gentle mother. Yeah, But then comes the answers to our daily prayers, Thy kingdom come. A kingdom where you have the opportunity to be godlike. After all, He did not make us in His image and likeness. It is really up to us. It really is up to us, It really is up to us to make that likeness visible to all. It really is a decision to live in the likeness of the Father. It really is a personal decision to be in the likeness of the Father, to strive to be in the likeness of the Father, to make that likeness of His be known to the whole world, to those around us. We're living according to the will of the Father. Was the likeness of God not so deep in Mary that the angel could not say it could not say to her, "Hail you who are full of God's grace. Amongst all women, you're the most blessed." If you are sensitive to the presence of God, if your ears are tuned to His call, you will find Him waiting as you turn every corner of the way, every moment of the day. God's call has been made, and that is one thing that I made peace with lately, But God's call has already been made to me, and this has been done through my baptism. Jesus said, as He said to His disciples, "Come, follow me." There's a Hebrew word called lech achrai. Lech achrai, it means come, follow. Come, follow me. Lech achrai. Come, lech. So God is calling us, and it's our response. This is what matters is our response to that when God calls us to follow Him. Our response matters. This is why, like I said lately in this season in time, I've been looking up to Our Lady so much in my day-to-day life, because how did she respond? How should I respond? How have I been responding to the divine will of the Father? And the first condition of Mary's own response was a deep and abiding faith. Faith means believing without really knowing why. Faith is a leap in the dark. You jump because you believe there is something else. There is someone, actually, believing that there is someone or something that will catch you as you fall. Well, that is the most difficult thing to do, really, to just jump into this thing that you don't even know what is there. You have no clue what is the outcome of it. This is what I feel like this season has been for me. This is why I leaned so much to our mother. How did you do it? You walked into this. When you went to Bethlehem, when you were carrying Jesus, you went in with full faith, not even knowing what is the outcome. Come on. Even if I have to go outside in the dark, I have to think about all the 100 things that I could face before I even reach where I'm going. And at that stage, my heart is already enough to run and jump out of my body. So imagine, I look and ask for this deep faith, where I can just leap into the dark. And I think that gave me so much courage to hold on, to go into this, this world of the unknown, where I don't know what to do, what is my call, what God is calling me into. Was when I came here, there was pretty much nothing, and I was like, Lord, so I'm here to sleep, wake up, enjoy the good weather. Actually, I don't even have time to enjoy the good weather. That's how much God has kept me so occupied in this season and time. You jump because you believe there is someone or something that will catch you as you fall. It is a supernatural gift of God, really, which enable us, you and me, to believe without doubting whatever God has revealed. And our response to the call of God depends really on the depth of our faith. What is the depth of my faith? Look into it. How far have you fallen in love with this Heavenly Father? How much, are you willing to listen to His voice? What He's calling you? This is a nature of the call. There is this thing. The first call that has been made to you and me as a Christian was to love God. This is the nature of our call, is truly just to love God. That's the most important and should be the basic thing to every Christian. Even though it's a basic thing, it's the most important. The first call that has been made to you and me as Christians is to love God with all of our hearts, with all of our souls, with all of our mind, with all of our body, with everything, with all of our being, really. But God is an invisible object of such love, and there is no way in which we can measure our love for Him. We can't really measure how high, how deep, how wide is love for us. That is something that we cannot measure, but God is an invisible object of such love. He is such an invisible object of that. And there is no way in which we can measure our love for Him. We also can't measure our love for Him. Abu Ben saw in a dream an angel writing the names. He was writing the names and of those who loved God. Disturbed to see that his name was not even in the list, he begged an angel to write him down as one. And then he's telling the angel, right, who loved him? Loved him is the one who loved his fellow men. When he next saw the angel, behold, his name laid all the rest. A poet wrote, actually, this is what he said. Behold, his name laid all the rest. And then he wrote in this poem, he says, I looked for my God and I could not find him. I looked for my soul and I could not see it. I looked for my brothers and I found all three. Wow. Well, the primary call to us really is to proclaim, to love God, is to love our fellow men. Upon this exercise rests our genuine response to God's calling. This is where our true genuine response to what we are called to do, really, that's where we get our answer, and that's where we really know where we are in this journey. How do you want to read this? Our response to God's call actually calls the center on our reaction to our fellow men, how we live with those around us. No, whatever you have done to the least of my brethren, you have done unto me, whatever you've done. And this is the most hard thing to exercise. I live in a community, so I have my fair share experience. And not that I'm a saint myself. I think I'm a little bit unbearable to live with, but these people, they just bear me with me. I think they're like, oh, this one is crazy. God brought us a crazy one. So whatever you've done to the least of my brother, he'll do unto us, and you've done it unto him. So whatever we do, how we live with those around us, is how we can project this call. This is how we respond to this call God has called us. Those things that He has put around us to test us, to see how far we can go on, how deep can we go in the love of Christ. I always, when I'm overreacting, I like to talk to Auntie Jane. Auntie Jane always say, Phyllis, I have many years of experience in ministry. I've gone through everything, but now I just focus on Him. Anything can happen around me and I will not know anything. I just focus on Him. And actually, it's such a good thing because, I realize how she's such a free zone. Her mind is such a free problem environment. She's always the happiest person around. She's always the only person who can put people together when they can't do it themselves, when there's all commotions and things like that. Why? Because she's surrendered that, no matter what this person do to me, no matter what happened, no matter what takes place, God is trying to say something through this. So my first response is to be Christ-like. And that's the beauty of, Auntie Jane. I've learned so much from her. But as we have this abiding model, which in an example of Our Lady, the handmaid of the Lord and their own son's prime disciple, we don't usually associate devotions to Mary with the social obligation of Christian living. Without such social concern, however, devotions to Mary becomes nothing more than a it becomes more than just a self-centered, pious individualism and caring of those around us, really. And Mary comes in the line of the heritage of patriarchs, prophets, psalmists of the Old Testament. In a spontaneous reaction to a choice, is the Mother of God. She expresses her joy in the canticle of praise, the Magnificat. She proclaims the greatness of God, her personal Savior, who regards her regard her lowly and humble state from an acknowledgement of the wonderful gift that was made to her as an individual. She turns quite naturally to the care that God has exercised for his people. Is right that he should have done great things to her. It causes his reaction throughout the ages on behalf of the lowly and the poorly. In the Mary's Canticle sings of a God who has scattered the proud in the conceit of their hearts, who has brought down the mighty kings from their thrones, exalt the lowly, fill the hungry with good things, send the rich away with empty hands. This is an echo of the prophet who condemned the wealth not for their wealth, but for their lack of concern for the poor, and the powerful not for their position of the authority, but for their injustice they had caused themselves, or that they had tolerated, really. And I know I'm now investing so much on on Mother Mary, but you know what? There's so much that I've learned in how Mother Mary responds to the Heavenly Father, how she live according to the promises of the Heavenly Father, and how she takes all this upon herself. And that's the life that we are called to live, a life that is worthy living, a life that is pleasing unto the Christ, and a life that can help us grow, see the world in a different perspective. And our faith can never be the same once you've gone through such an experience. And Mother Mary has really shown me how to live like in the likeness of Christ, to live in a life that is pleasing to the Lord. And this is something that I thought, let me just share on my first podcast for after a long time since I've done anything. And I have so much to share, I have so much to talk about, but I thought, let me just run quickly back to where I've been, what I've been up to, and in this journey and season, I just want the Lord to do so much more. I'm in an open vessel, Lord, to the will of the Father, for his divine will, to do whatever he wants. And in this time, in this season, I just feel like God has put me in a humbling season where I have to learn so much of him, know him, humble myself. It has been a humbling experience. I've gone through the humiliations, all the difficulties that I could face. Here, I don't have access to any shop, so I have no money to spend. And anyway, so if you are broke like me, you can live a good life here, because I'm not even around anything that I need to go. So I'm not really attached to anything that is social, but I just have so much time to spend with him. There's so much more that I could do for the kingdom of God. But lately it just seems like, when you journey with the Lord, sometimes you feel like time is not enough. There's just not enough time. This is why I'm so shocked over it's already been 2 years. Time has just not been enough. There is so much that the Lord has revealed. There is so much that the Lord can do through me. He wants to do through me. Yet so little time. And this always reminds me that I'm a pilgrim, I'm on a pilgrimage. And this life is going to come to an end at some point. And I'm sure, and what I hope and strive for, is that I've lived and I've done what is worthy and pleasing before him, so that I can stand before him and he can say, well done, my good and faithful servant Phyllis. You have pleased your Father. That is the day where I look forward to. I look forward to the Father's joy, to see him happy. That is something that I strive for. And in this journey, in this season, the Lord has really taught me so much. And I look forward to discovering all about it, about myself. Lord, oh God, he knows how much I have discovered myself. How much he has shown me the strength that I have in me that I never knew I had. how much he has given me. I'm anemic, so I always have, my negative side of me has always been my health. I've been the healthiest I could have ever been in the past 2 years. I feel stronger, healthier, happier, stress-free zone. Literally stress-free. I don't know what it is. It might be the mountains, or just not around all the noise, and not around good internet either. Might be that. Can't watch anything around here. Don't have time for it. Nor do I have good internet to do it. You get frustrated just to go on the phone to really say anything. So there's no time for gossip, because if you call someone around here less than a minute, you've already cut them off the phone because it's so expensive. So, it's been a journey plus, but the Lord is so much. He has so much. He has so much to reveal to his children. And if you can just open your heart and let him in, he'll be the happiest you've ever been. Anyway, I talk too much. Well, that's what I've been told. But anyway, we'll be discovering, we'll be sharing more, and we'll be journeying together as time goes by. So from me today, thank you. We'll meet again. I think I have visitors, mosquitoes starting to bite me here. Those are new friends I also discovered lately, if they like me. Yeah, but anyway, this is the end of me today. Hopefully we'll meet again soon. I know it's been a long time, but life has kept me busy. But I thank God